What is up, Shoot Love family? I am back with you again today with the very talented Katie Allcorn. She is a graphic designer in Austin, Texas, and we are fortunate enough to have her be part of our crew. She's designing for Shoot Love, and I wanted to have her on today to introduce her to you guys, but also just to ask her some questions. We're looking at trying to help you develop your business in such a way that helps you blow up. And in order to do that, I believe that we have to bring in experts from all different areas. This week we're talking to a graphic designer who has got 4 years experience, went to college for it, like has the education background, but also has the real world work to back it up. And she's just a great designer. Everybody say hi to Katie. Hello, Katie. So this week we're talking about first impressions. It's really important in a business setting to make a good first impression. I do that through my Brad Pitt-like good looks, normally, right? Everybody agree?
Obviously,
yeah. And my humbleness. That's the other way I do that. But some people need things like business cards, and it's just there's ways to make a good first impression. So, in your opinion, what makes for a good first impression as it pertains to business?
Yeah. Just as a designer and a business owner, I think a good first impression is all about consistency. So and as for creative professionals, we are ourselves. Like our business is ourself and our personality. So it's a lot about just being consistent, not just on like your brand presence online, your logo and all that stuff, but also who you are and how you present yourself, your tone in emails and, everything like that.
I like the idea of consistency. I like the idea that your business card looks like your website, looks like your Facebook header.
Right.
I like the idea that, but I mean, like okay, so I have a certain personality, you have a certain personality. How do you hire a designer that's not you to create something that is you?
Yeah. I think a lot of design, it's getting information in such a small space. It's saying so much in so few pixels, and that's the designer's job. But for the client's job is to actually know what we're trying to communicate. So a lot of people, when clients come to me asking for branding or, a logo, I need them to tell me, like they need to have some self-examination that's already happened to tell me, what is it they're trying to convey. They need to know like who their audience is as well. So when you're going to find a designer, have some things in mind of like what you're actually wanting, and know who you are. And I think that's the hardest part of branding yourself, is knowing who you are. And a lot of times
that's the hardest part of just being a human being, I think.
It is, yeah.
Right?
And you're not going to know. I mean, it's an evolving process. You're going to change and whatever, but it's good to like have that out of the gates, because it helps you set the tone for your business too, as far as like not just logo and visual identity, but also like the way you are in emails. A lot of people think as professionals we have to say like, dear so-and-so, I would like your, I don't know, like very professional. And I think that that's kind of like a thing of the past for creatives, because people want to see you. I mean, that's why they hired you. Yeah. And so just be yourself. Creatives, you're being hired for your style and your tone and everything.
So personality, what I hear you saying is personality. Your personality has to come through in that first impression. And that personality is even your attire, the way that you dress, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you speak. And then that first impression, while you want to create a good first impression, the second, third, and fourth impressions, the correspondence that transpires because of that first impression needs to still be congruent, right? It needs to still, you can't just be a different person through email or contracts, or even, everything needs to kind of have that same feel of who you are.
Yeah.
So in that sense, what are some tools photographers can use to create a great first impression?
Business cards are fun to talk about, because I did not want a business card for the longest time. I thought they were like a thing of the past, like no one hands these out anymore. Just go shake hands and make an impression. But the reality is You need them. I mean, I've been in so many situations where people are like, do you have a business card? And it just looks unprofessional that I didn't have one. And so, again, you go on this mission to like make this thing that defines you in one little tiny space. And so, yeah, so when I was creating mine, I wanted it to be different. And I think that a lot of people think that they have to stay within this 2 1/4 by 3. And it's like very weird. It's like, what impression can I possibly make on this space that everybody's using? But you can play with thickness of the card. You can play with shape. You can play with color, you know, all sorts of things that you can play with within that space that kind of stays in line with your brand and your tone and everything.
So no one really wants a business card. So if you don't want a business card, and I'm the same way. I think creatives probably feel that way more than other people, though. To be honest with you,
right.
You know, in the business world, exactly. Everybody has a business card. But I think
everything's going to be word of mouth and referrals. Creatives tend to think that, but I mean, the reality is you need more than word of mouth, especially when you're first getting started.
Yeah. You
need to like get out there, hit the ground running with a big pack of business cards in your back pocket. You know?
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you said it's not even about who cares if you want one or not, if you're too cool for a business card, because I think I am and you think you are, and that's how we think, right? But the thing that you hit on the head was when someone asks for it and you don't have one, you immediately go from being this amazing person who can design this stuff, who can, you right. have a great website, it's gorgeous. No one can remember what the URL is.
Exactly.
Especially if you're a photographer, just like you, a lot of photographers use their name, right? So DustinBryson.com, KatieAllcorn.com. Nobody's going to remember that, right? It's just they're not going to because they're going to leave and they're going to have their coffee. It's early in the morning, and they want to connect with you. They want to maybe even hire you, but they can't because they don't remember your name. And so you and if you don't have that card, you look immediately unprofessional.
Exactly, and I think it definitely speaks to how well you know your audience, because you're trying to engage in business with other professionals, not other creatives. Mm-hmm. So they are going to want to see a business card. It's like whether you're working with a dentist office doing a flyer for them, or the photography, or anything. You can go down any road with that, but know who your clients are. I mean, if you're hiring a bride who wants you to photograph your wedding, it's like, what kind of job do they work? It could be anything. And they're probably going to ask you for a business card when they walk away from the meeting and want to follow up with you later because they need time to think about what everything's been discussed over coffee or whatever.
You talked about a little bit about some alternatives to just your typical business cards. And you talked about thickness. You talked about, let's talk about some other things like letterpress and die cutting and things of that nature.
The options are really endless when it comes to printing techniques, paper. You can get really wild with it. I've seen cards printed on acrylic, on glass, like you can do on wood, on anything, leather. The options are absolutely endless. And so it does, take some time and think about like what's in line with your brand. Are you like this rustic photographer that only wants to shoot like country weddings? Maybe play off some of those elements that are always there. Or, just brainstorm a little bit about how you can get creative and get outside the box of just this standard paper card. Mm-hmm. It's really important for photographers to have a beautiful card because we're all in these fine art industries, and when people hire us for our artistry, they want to see that we're also like, we care about the things that we're handing out, not just the things that we're making. Because if we don't care about our brand, our business card, our website, and how things look, then customers aren't going to think that you care about the product you're selling them. It all like plays into each other.
We've been talking about business cards. We've been talking about the beauty of them. And I want you guys all to know that if you wanted to hire Katie to design your business cards or anything else you need, you can do that now through the site. And also, if you wanted to grab a template for your next business card prints, you can do that. Katie's going to be having some of those available here on the site. And we're even printing through the site now. So it's all seamless. You're going to be able to go on, grab your Photoshop file, put your stuff in, and then upload it back to the site, and we'll print your cards for you. and they're beautiful silk cards, die cut. We can do different thicknesses, letter press, the whole thing. So that's exciting news. So thank you for your time today. You are awesome. I'm going to have you back for other stuff.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, always keep shooting. Bye, guys.